I'm finally getting around to giving you that video on macro photography that I promised. So I thought I'd start off just with a bit of the technical side. I'm a really low budget photographer. I can't afford very much in the way of equipment, so what I use for my macro photography is just my trusty D80 Nikon. I use with it my 55 to 200 VR lens. And for really close shots, what I do is I use these Kenko extension tubes. And what they do is they fit in between the lens and the body of the camera, and they let you focus really tight to your subject. So I can practically be touching whatever it is that I want to photograph using these extension tubes, whereas with this lens it won't focus down to closer than about 3 feet. So anyway, that's the technical side. Thought I would take you over somewhere to talk about macro photography, and this is it. So why bring you over here to my manure pile to talk about macro photography? It's not an obvious place to find something beautiful to photograph. In the wintertime especially, or when it gets colder, there's a lot of heat and humidity in the manure pile. And when that heat hits the cold air, you get all these incredibly beautiful frost crystals forming. Warmer months too, there's tons of things that you can see. There's little tiny fungus growing and little plants starting to come to life. I've seen snakes. Actually, there was even a snake out here this morning. Didn't get a chance to photograph him, but he was here. And lots of insects, butterflies in the summer. It's amazing what you can find if you're just willing to take a second and really look for it. I think it's kind of sad that a lot of the time we see something like a manure pile and we judge it instantly as something that's kind of an eyesore and doesn't have much value other than, manure spreading later in the year. When there's actually all kinds of wonderful little things going on in it that are really interesting and beautiful and exciting to photograph. I think that's kind of how life is sometimes. We think of the whole thing as being a big, ugly mess, and we don't really take notice of the little things that make it wonderful. There's all kinds of little moments in our everyday lives that are really beautiful and valuable, but we tend not to see them because we're so overwhelmed by the whole big picture. I know a lot of the time too, people think that if they see a tall patch of weeds or something that it's an eyesore and they cut it all down. And they are oblivious to the fact that there's a ton of life going on in those weeds. You look at all the tiny beautiful insects in there and beautiful plants growing, and all of that just gets thrown away because it's a bit of a mess in the overall picture. And that's kind of sad. I think that we are all put here for a purpose, and you could say that our purpose here is to do good things and be kind to each other and support each other, but I think there's something sort of more fundamental, and that is just that we're here to appreciate living, and a lot of that comes with seeing the details. And that's why I love macro photography, because it allows you to just focus in on the wonderful little things that you wouldn't see if you're just looking at the so-called big picture. There's so much more to life than just that whole big picture. There's all these little details that have meaning and beauty and importance. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me again today, and whether you agree with me or not, that's fine. I hope you'll come and visit me again and keep watching. And if you like what you see, please go ahead and share with other people so I can grow a bit more of an audience. And I'll see you soon.